intro. Hello, everyone from white-covered, snowy Berlin today. It's snowing as hell these days. Very good. And welcome, everyone, to today's session. Even for the ones who joined us last week, welcome, guys. Yeah, as Christine mentioned in the intro, we're going to talk about a market recap for some European cities such as Paris, Madrid, Brussels, Amsterdam, as well as London. Maybe one or two words about myself for the ones who don't know me yet. Similar as Christine, my background is also hardcore revenue management, 10 years on the hotel side, operative revenue management, and the other 10 years dealing with HQ Plus. One side fact, maybe one personal one. I always love these ones on the who I am slides. I'm an intense record collector. So besides the family and revenue management, record and good music is my passion. Maybe also one word about HQ. We are a data delivery company dealing with billions of data points, delivering these data in a beautiful app for our customers globally. But stop talking about the product. Let's go straight into the market watch. And let's start with a little recap with an YOY slides through all these destinations we will talk about. What does YOY mean? Year over year. So what we are comparing here is the rates in the 3, 4, and 5-star segment for the City of London, comparing the years 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and of course, also this year in 2023. We will talk about Q4 right now. And obviously, what we see is after this little dip back in 2020, we all know what happened there. The rates are constantly increasing, so it really looks like a proper step year over year that the rates are going higher and higher. There are certain factors why these rates are that high. We will talk about this later on. But what I wanted to highlight here is especially in November, the 5-star segment in London. Please have a closer look. Back in the old normal in 2019, we were talking for the 5-star segment in November of a median rate of £320. The dip in the COVID year of 2020, 234. Then the bounce back, £383 for 2021. £406 last year in 2022, and this year they reached almost £470 median rate in the 5-star segments in November in London. What about Amsterdam?
Oh,
sure.
No.
Sorry.
I was sorry. I just wanted to quickly check who from you is from London. Let's already start and get you engaged. Can you please raise your hand? Simone, yes, great.
Hey, Simone.
Okay, hi. Good. Sorry, Philipp.
Let's jump over to Amsterdam. Similar behavior, what we see here in regards to the rates. There's just one thing I wanted to highlight and pinpoint out, and this is again especially dedicated to the 5-star segment. And it doesn't matter if we're going to talk about October, if we're going to talk about November, or if we're going to talk about December. It really looks like that last year, so 2022, reached a limit price-wise in regards to these segments, because what we see is that 2023 in regards to the rates is lower performing in October, lower performing in November, and intensely lower performing now the outlook for December. So it really looks like especially the 5-star segment in Amsterdam reached an kind of limit there. Any guys from Amsterdam in the house?
Please raise your hand now. Corey? Simone, I don't know if you're also doing Fabri has.
Oh, there's Fabri. Nice.
Great, you can
cool.
take your hands again. Thank you, Corey and Simone.
Let's jump over to Brussels year over year. Similar steps again as we saw it in the other markets. What I wanted to highlight here is, let's maybe call it the winner, which is the 4-star segment in Brussels. When we have a closer look, even in the other months, not only in November, but I just wanted to highlight here that back in 2019, median rates for 4-star hotels in Brussels were priced by 144.50, and this year we're talking about 191 euros. So a huge and big step price-wise here in Brussels in the 4-star segment.
Who's
Anyone from Brussels in here?
Anyone? Yeah, Corey, I did see Anna Iris again. Yeah, great. Hi, guys.
Hey, guys. Let's jump over from Brussels to Madrid, and here, yeah, I think we can clearly see again these price steps. So rates are going higher and higher, and again, there is, especially in the 4-star segment, the winner here talking about November, and this is like a super big jump. Talking about rates from November 2019, 128.50 to now over 208 euros for the month of November. So also congrats right here. If we have a closer look on December, it also looks like obviously Madrid is not the city of the Christmas markets, but obviously it looks like it's quite stable and not these big jumps, whether up or down, happening here in December. Last but not least, let's talk about Paris. Any French guys in here?
No.
We will talk about Paris anyway.
Yeah, we have a few signups, but maybe they'll come later or watch this recording.
Exactly. For the ones operating or living in Paris, I think October was like really a crazy month. We will pinpoint this later on as well. And it's always fantastic talking about Paris and talking about especially the 5-star segment, because there is almost no market out there where we see such big gaps between 3, 4-star and 5-star market. And please have a closer look, especially on the performance in October. We know there were a lot of events happening, but it's like really crazy to see a median rate in the 5-star segment of almost 750 euros. So really crazy numbers. Please also have a closer look on the scaling here on the left-hand side, where we see the gap between the 3, the 4-star segment versus the 5-star segment. But later on, more talking about the 5-star segment in Paris. Let's check out the rates starting from the 1st October. Again, we talk about Q4 till the end of the year. Talking about London. So what you guys see here is the price, the time axis versus the price axis in pound. The top red line is the highest 4-star property per day. The low purple line is the lowest 3-star property per day. What I wanted to pinpoint and highlight out is, obviously it's an industry event, talking about the WTM, where we see 4-star median reached over 270 pounds, while the 3-star median is quite stable and quite low. So it really looks like that WTM guests were like focusing on the 4-star segment. But it's nothing in compared to what we're going to see right now in this period, and also for the next 2 weekends coming. So we really see the highest rates, whether talking about the 3 or the 4-star market in London in exactly this period right now and the coming 2 weeks. And then everyone is preparing, obviously, for a big New Year's Eve festivity on the 31st. How is this demand and occupancy wise looking? So what you guys see here, again, time axis versus the demand axis in percentage. In red, you're going to see our calculated demands. The top gray line is our customer in London with the highest occupancy. Bottom gray line, our customer in London with the lowest occupancy per day. And what we're going to see, again, WTM, I guess it was okay. Maybe there will be later on some feedbacks from the London guys in this call. Occupancy wise, in the median, we're talking about 71%. So the rates were quite good, I would say, but occupancy wise, it was not like the event of the year. Comparing to what we're going to see right now in this period, I already talked about it in regards to the rates, but also in regards to the demand and also the reached occupancy levels. Please have a closer look. This is the range between 90% and 100%. So we see a lot of hotels already fully booked, and also the median numbers very close to 90, on some days even over 90% occupancy right there. Let's talk about Amsterdam. I would say nothing like super special. Maybe we can highlight in the middle of October this little price spike right here. Also, Christmas market weekends are quite okay. But what we see is that like the prices and the rates are super picking up for New Year's Eve. The most interesting I want to highlight here within the Amsterdam market is that you see this little price tunnel right there. We saw this price tunnel also in the other destinations, because this tunnel here, what we see is that these rates where the 3-star hotels are fishing in the 4-star market and vice versa. And there is no other market, especially when we're talking about these 5 markets today, where this tunnel is that wide. So there's like really so unbelievable expensive 3-star hotels and also very cheap 4-star hotels. So this tunnel is pretty big when we talk about Amsterdam. Again, Amsterdam, and what I wanted to highlight here is that unbelievable month of October. The ones in Amsterdam in this call, maybe they will remember. And what I just wanted to highlight here is that the customers where we are having the data in regards to the PMS performance and the occupancy levels is that our customers in the median have reached for the whole October an occupancy of over 95%. So it was really a busy month for hoteliers and revenue managers in Amsterdam. Brussels, only maybe one thing to highlight here was in the beginning of October. Yeah, really the highest rates we were facing in the whole last quarter of Q4. So they were like really in the median in the 4-star market rates over 350 euros right there. We can also have a closer look on the demand levels right there. I would say nothing like super special, but maybe one thing which was surprising me is that it looks like there will be a big party on New Year's Eve going on in Brussels. So what we see here really by the end of this slide for the 31st of December is demand levels of over 95%, especially for New Year's Eve. Madrid, 2 nice spikes right there, caused to huge events happening, which was in the beginning of October and in the end of October. Again, talking about the December outlook, it's not like that city, which is very well known for Christmas festivities. So more or less Madrid as a business city, quite lower and stable rates. Same when we talk about the demand levels. The only thing I want to highlight out is one day, which is the 21st of October, where crazy demand was happening. If I go back again, we also saw here this spike in regards to the rates. So this was really the day of Q4, October the 21st, with over 99% demand. So meaning there was almost non-hotels more available in the market for that day. Let's talk about Paris. And Paris is the only city where I also blended in the 5-star segment. We've talked about this earlier. So it's really crazy to see this gap of the highest 4-star hotel versus the median. This is just the median of the 5-star hotels. So let's say in regards to these segments, the world in Paris is in order. Again, when we're going to compare also the pricing tunnel where the 3-star properties are getting closer to the 4 stars and vice versa, it looks like a super healthy gap comparing to Amsterdam. And again, yeah, 5-star segment in Paris, crazy. Same for occupancy levels. So Paris, especially now in the December weekends, but also in November, crazy numbers, again, between 90 and 100% occupancy levels here for quite a long period until it then dips down by the mid of December. Let's resume this and rank it by price. So on rank number 5, price-wise, is Madrid for Q4, 3-star hotels, 111, 4-star 162, followed by Brussels, 140 versus 195 in the 4-star segment, followed by London, maybe a surprise, 142.10 pounds in the 3, 222 in the 4-star segment, followed by Amsterdam, 180, like super strong. And again, very close, 3-star versus 4-star median numbers. Yeah, and the winner is, guess who? It's Paris. And again, I also blended the 5-star segment in here as a plus. So we're talking about 190 euros in the 3-star segment, 274 4-star, and unbelievable 611 in the 5-star segment for Q4 in 2023. It's live voting question time, everyone. Please get prepared to answer me or us the following question. So what we've all learned in the last years is the budget is working, upper luxury segment is working quite well. And the big question is, will the price war in the segments in between, so in between the budget and the luxury segment, will pick up, especially when the demand numbers are going down?
All right, the voting is started, the poll has started, and we are getting the first answers so far. Yeah.
Please also feel free to write a comment in the chat section. I think we had a quite nice kind of discussion last week about this question.
Or raise your hand if you want to vocalize your question.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Any questions?
All right. Last votes are coming in. And all right, we can close the poll. Let's see the results. Yeah.
That is quite clear. I would say clearer than it was last week. Talking about our data and the experiences we have faced. So we already saw this in the summer for some destinations, like really when the demand is dropping down. That unfortunately, again, as it always was, the price war is starting, and obviously it can be like a super, for some markets, a very bad thing that this price war started, but it was always like that. And that's especially again from the time the occupancy is missing, the demand is missing, that unfortunately the rates are dropping and causing their an bad impact on all segments out there. Is there any comments in addition to that questions from the audience?
Fabri, have you received any?
No, there are no questions for now. We can continue. Yes.
Okay, great. Let's have a closer look on the outlook. We're talking about now the 1st of January until the end of July. And for any destination, I just wanted to highlight a couple of interesting things in regards whether to demand or to the rates. Yeah, Q1 in Europe, well known as not the super high demand quarter, right? So there's nothing like super special to talk about also here in London. What I wanted to highlight is the highest price in April, especially in the 4-star segment, where we are going very close to 300 pound, which is the London Marathon. So again, a lot of events happening, luckily again. And another highlight, beside all the trade shows, because London is a business city, it's a busy city, it's an event city. But beside like trade shows and conferences, talking about really the price spikes, it's more or less social or sport events, which is again the London Marathon, as well as in the mid of July, the London Pride Parade, where we see also in the 3-star segment rates for over 350 pounds right now. How does it look in regards to the demand? Also, again, here we get the marathon, so huge spike in the demand, as well as for the London Pride weekend, demand forecasted already of over 92%. So hoteliers, get prepared for that. It's again Taylor Swift. We're talking about Amsterdam. So the virus is continuing. This is like really the thing I just wanted to highlight, and it's so crazy that because we're seeing here 3-star hotels with rates over 700 euros so far in the market. Really crazy. Another one which I wanted to highlight here is again the very dangerous pricing, talking about the 3 and the 4-star segment. You don't even see a difference here. It's so close together. We already saw it last year, but it will continue. And especially if you have a closer look here on the weekends, there is really like sometimes 3-star hotels way higher priced than 4-star hotels. And I think when we have a closer look on the median, it makes it very clear, because these two lines we see here are very close together. So attention here. Same for the demand. So we have a low Q1 till the business is picking up from April on. And again, Taylor Swift is in the house with over 92% demand forecast for her. I think it's 2 shows this year, next year in Amsterdam. Brussels. A lot of things happening on one day. Maybe too many things are happening one day. I wanted to highlight here only the 19th of March, because this is like the first big bang, talking about price spikes in Brussels. And yeah, whoever had the idea to bring the Laborama Expo, the Estetica, the Bio Expo, and the Autotechnica just in 1 week. Maybe it would make more sense to split it on several weeks. But what we see here is really a lot of things going on, and it's clearly like really price-wise the highest period so far for the year of 2024, at least until the end of July. If we have a far outlook, end of July, there's 2 weekends, also big buzz, big demand. So for the ones in Brussels, please take care about the last 2 weekends in July. Crazy high demand spike. So the only 2 days where we're facing over 80%, way over 80% demand for Brussels. Madrid. Of course, I need to shout out for Fitur because it's the kickoff event for our industry every year. I'm in Madrid since many years in the beginning, or in the end of January. So it's kicking off the event season for hospitality as well. So I wanted to highlight here the Fitur. It looks like a quite good price spike, but again, it is nothing against cultural events. And here I wanted to highlight the Madrid Pride weekend, which is happening next to one or two smaller music festivals in the mid of June. So rate-wise, highest rates here for Madrid Pride and the electronic music festivals versus here the Fitur, our industry show in the end of January. Same for the demand. We have a demand spike here in Q1. This is the Fitur with around 75% so far on the strongest day. Nothing compared to the 15th of June where the Madrid Pride festivities are happening. And especially for Paris, I enlarged my time period to the end of August, not to the end of July, because we wanted to highlight here one big thing, which is next year, the Olympic Games, the Summer Games in Paris. So in Germany, a couple of cities, they have their own special events, talking about the Euro Cup happening next year. But Paris, like really around 1 month, super high rates, super high demand. That's what we're going to see in the next slides. Again, here the most craziest day talking about the Olympic Games so far in regards to the rates. July 31st, median 5-star hotels, 1,310 euros. Sick numbers. And the same is for the demand. So we can clearly see there is a long period with way over 95% demand there. So Olympic Games will be a big buzz in Paris. Talking about the earlier periods, we can also clearly see it here that the Q1 is quite low and stable in regards to the demand. And from mid of March, April on, really the business is picking up right there till it like really reaches the high for the Olympic Games happening this next year in Paris. That's the wrong slide. There should be not Berlin, Hamburg, Munich, and Vienna. There should be the cities we were talking about earlier. But let's talk about the pickup. Now we got the correct slides again, because you know we are talking on a daily basis with so many hoteliers, and in some markets the hoteliers still say, oh, my pickup is still so super short term, the lead time is so short till the business is picking up and so on. And we did some analysis talking about the pickup in London, especially for October. And I want to compare here 2019 with 2022 and 2023. So we see in purple, this is the pickup curve for 2019, red 2022, and green 2023. So what we see is the lead time right there. So we're talking around 200, 180 days prior to the arrival, where in a lot of markets, you hear this little white noise, right? You have this ground or floor occupancy you have. But for London, especially in October, really nothing changed. So whether we talk about 2019, 2022, or 2023, what's interesting, and this is the fact here from around 100 days prior to the arrival date, so 100 days lead time, is that last year was crazily picking up. So the hotels 50 days prior to the arrival date, they already reached over 40% occupancy, which is completely different to how it was 2019 and how it is this year. So this year typically runs like 2019, and unfortunately, talking especially about October, the occupancy level this year not reached the ones of 2022 and 2019, which was very similar. How does this look like in Amsterdam? This year, it looks way, way better than 2022 and even better than 2019. So we see like a proper and stable pickup curve right there. End result, I would say, very close to where we were 2019, maybe a little bit better even for the October in Amsterdam. Brussels, an interesting chart. So this is what we see in a lot of destinations, especially talking about 2019. Wide noise in occupancy, around 20%, 200 days prior the arrival date. It was not even 10 last year in 2022. This year, something in between. And then it looks like 2023 is performing way, way better than the other years. But here around 40, 35 days to the arrival date, it's getting a bit slower and lower, especially for this year. And unfortunately, October this year has not reached occupancy-wise the year of 2019 and the year of 2022. We're coming to the next live voting question, and very, very interesting one, because we'll talk about a big topic, which is called price value. And the question is, are the guests currently getting the service that they are paying for?
Well, I'm very curious now about the results, because that's an ongoing topic, I guess, for every one of you.
We will see the answer later on.
Yes,
data-wise. But what is the community saying?
Yeah, quite one. Oh no, I see some. We really need to come up with the drum rolls next time. But
oh yeah, I forgot the sound computer. Sorry.
Same here. But yeah, we got some responses, and we can close it in a few seconds. So if anybody hasn't voted yet, go ahead. You should see the pop-up in your screen. And here we go.
Ta-da-da-da. Ooh, no, yeah, 78%, and yes, 22%.
Very similar to last week as well.
It was, yeah, the majority were no. It would be interesting, I don't know, from the attendees, if any one of you can share something. I would be really curious to hear it from the hotel side.
Why you have voted for no?
Yeah.
Yes, guys, if you want to talk, just raise your hand, and you can share a little bit of. I will unmute you. Not sure if someone wants to share the rest. We can ask. We can pick someone, and yeah, and see what. Or we can also skip it. Let's see. Maybe Noemi, would you like to share a little bit with us why what you voted and what are your thoughts? If you raise your hand.
Ah, beautiful, Noemi.
Let's see what Noemi. Hello, Noemi.
Hi. I think I went very straightforward replying to that question, thinking about Paris Olympic Games rates. Obviously, when your rates are literally triple or even more, how can we consider that this is the value you're paying for? Yeah, very, very straightforward answer, to be honest. Like I didn't have a complex reasoning behind.
Thank you very much, Noemi, for that one. Maybe we let the data speak. What did you say? Okay. I think we already saw it in the first slide. I call it the steps, and it really was in a lot of market, these kind of price step that the rates are going higher and higher. They need to go higher, of course, because we're fighting with them in a lot of markets with an inflation. But let's focus on the review development for London from January 2021, so let's say in the middle of the pandemic, until today. So in January 2021, the 5-star hotels were reviewed by 8.88 points, 4-star 8.33 points, the apartments with 7.86, and the 3-star hotels with 7.69. That's where we were back in Jan 2021. Then for a long time, nothing was happening. Why is nothing happening? Because if there is no people traveling because of restrictions, because of lockdowns, there will be no reviews in the hotels. Clear, right? But then from the bounce back in summer of 2021, we can see across every segment right here, limited on the apartments, but especially on the 4, 3, and 5-star hotels, we can see that the reviews are dropping down. Why is this like this? Because we all remember the big bounce back. Travel is allowed again, mainly domestic, but then a lot of demand within the cities. There is another period where again a huge drop is coming, which is in the summer of 2022. A lot of high demand. We have an inflation cost to everything what happened with COVID. We have an inflation because of the energy crisis, so the rates are going higher and higher and higher. The problem is the hotels are still the same. They are located in the same area, but mostly with less service because the lack of stuff. So we have like a couple of reasons why this cocktail is becoming toxic. The good point is that it looks like from the end of the summer this year, it feels like it reached like a bottom, so it's grounded again. But let's see what the future will bring. What I wanted to highlight here is maybe the apartment sector, because it looks like the apartment sector is not suffering that much this loss of review scores. But I guess that's also obviously because when you are checking in or when you are booking as a guest an apartment, you don't expect the super service. You don't expect like a proper restaurant and all these kind of things. So the winner here for sure, and this is not only in London, we observed over 200 markets. I have for all that what I've showed you today, I have this for over 2,500 destinations. So not only like cities, but also leisure areas or smaller destinations. And it looks everywhere the same. So where do we end up today? 8.64 in the 5-star segment. This is a loss of 0.3. Below 8 points, so 798 in the 4-star segment. Also very critical, because from the time you undercut the 8. It's always difficult to attract every guest, right? Because of the filter scenarios within the booking process. 7.66 apartments and 7.32 in the 3-star segment. At a glance, London from 7.92 in Jan 2021 to now 7.56. So this is that's what I can tell you now. This is like the biggest loss we're seeing within these 5 destinations. So London lost 0.36 points just from Jan 21 until today. Comparing to Amsterdam, we're talking here about a loss, but just a loss of 0.16 points. Talking about Brussels, loss 0.15 points. And Paris, a loss of 0.13 points. So obviously it looks like that everyone who's traveling to Paris knows here I will leave a lot of money, right? Even the reaction on the review score development shows it that everyone knows, okay, this will be not a cheap trip for me. Let's resume it. So minus 0.36 for London, last rank, minus 0.16 Amsterdam, 0.15 Brussels, and then Madrid and Paris are sharing the pole position in regards to the loss of the review scores. But every loss is also having a potential, especially when you try or you make it happen that you improve your reviews. And I focused here on two cities. Left-hand side is Amsterdam. Right-hand side is Paris. And within our data science team, we've wrote an algorithm which tells us how much more can a hotel go for price-wise when it's like starting to improve their review scores. And let's start with something like really utopic. We talk about what will happen when a hotel in Amsterdam will improve their review score by 1 point. Of course, this is not possible, especially not in a short period. But let's make it more realistic. Let's talk about 0.2, right? This is something which is absolutely realistic within like 6 months or maybe 9 months. So when we talk about the 3-star segment in Paris, if a hotel is able to improve the review score by 0.2, this would mean, now we do a little bit of math in this session. So we got by 1 review point, 15 euros in the 3-star segments. Let's split it into 10. So we got €1.50 times 2, because we were talking about 0.2 points, meaning that an hotel is able to increase the rate per room on €3. And now please calculate, if you run a property with 80 rooms, an average occupancy of the year of 75 or 80%, how much money this is. When we talk about Paris, and it really looks like it's still too cheap. And we talk about the 4-star segment. Again, 0.2, 50 times 10 times 2 is 10, another 10 euros per sold room floor rate as a chance for the 4-star hotels in Paris. So when you are operating properties in other markets, feel free to reach out. Again, I have this kind of data for over 2,500 markets globally. That's a picture and screenshot out of our app, where we like really bring price and value into one matrix. And what you see here is the review score line. Here you see the price line. And if we break it down on a property level, in red is my own positioning, so in the middle. And the ideal line is starting from the left bottom to the right top. Why is it like that? Every of these points is one of my competitors. So why from the left bottom to the right top? Why is this ideal? Because left bottom, there is the competitors with a lower review score and a lower rate. Right top, competitors with a higher review score and a higher rate. The bad boys, let's call them the bad boys, is the ones in this quarter right here. So double blue and yellow. Why are they dangerous? Because this is 3 competitors in my market offering lower rates, so undercutting my price while having a better review score as I have. And especially when we talk about price positioning, the strategy, the tactic, it is a must to have a closer look on the price value positioning within my market. Last question. I think
maybe just to add for the ones for the review, and it's one of my favorite data as well, because we know how important, I hope you all look into how's your Google scoring, how's your booking.com scoring. So I think just having the numbers and facts behind it, I think is really great. And yeah, as I just mentioned, the scoring is considered really for Google and for booking.com, which are the main review platforms.
Definitely. Within the last months, weeks, days, and also in the future, every talk will have a little AI section, and also ours today. So the last live voting question, I guess we're pretty good in timing. So last live voting question will be that ChatGPT and co. Will the AI take over pricing and revenue management in the long-term future? really looking forward to see the results right here. What would you say, guys?
I go for that safe choice that you will be that only the ones that will actually start to use AI tools actually will survive, but the full I mean, we are seeing this in so many conversations in different areas of the hospitality business, but also outside there, and it's a little bit like being able to also, you know, analyze data and so on. If you have this basis and if you understand the potential of these tools, then you can better use them for your work rather than being completely taken over by it. But let's see, we have some interesting replies, and so let's get the results out.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Quite close.
Yeah. 63% say yes and 38% say no.
I would love to hear a voice from the knowers. Is there someone who wants to add something on the no?
Let's see. So who voted for the no? Can you please raise your hand? Let's see.
I think it always also depends on how you see that question, because obviously you're totally right, Fabrice, when you say you need to deal with it, then you'll be in the game. If you are not able to deal with it, sooner or later you will be out of the game for sure. But any comments on the ones who, or from the ones who voted with no? Or comments from the ones who voted with yes? Also interested in.
All right, Noemi, here we go.
Hey, Noemi, you again.
I voted no, but obviously I wanted my answer to be a bit more shady, in the sense that we would obviously like to use AI as a very big support and something that will enable us to get rid of all the daily tasks and daily analytics, and getting a lot of recommendations on the pricing. But the whole strategy and deep analytics and the approach we want to take, this will not be fully taken over by AI. So it's a no bet, let's say.
Thank you very much. And it's very close to my two answers, which I will show you right now. Whoops, which I will show you right now, which is on the long run, I would say 80-20, so 80 yes, 20 no. But the 20% which is left are, I would say, more important than the 80, right? So my two sentences here is, because I really like them. The first one is we don't need the robots, we need the drones. The drone is tackled by a human brain, by a human strategy. And the second one, because it's so much fun, is again 80-20, me, myself, and AI.
We got I already saw these jokes last time, but it still make me laugh. So we have Corey that raised the hand. Corey, would you like to share something about it? Let me allow you to talk.
Hi, Corey.
Hi, Corey.
Raise my hand. I don't recall doing so, but I can give some input. Yeah, I voted yes on it. I really like these phrases, by the way. Very nice.
Thank you.
And I would agree. I think the daily operations can be taken over, and I think it's important everybody gets on board and, you know, makes use of AI to take the strain away. But I think what's happening now is that the typical tasks of a revenue manager need to change. You know, you still need the commercial strategy person, manager, or however that's going to be called. You still need someone taking care of that. AI is not going to know that your restaurant's also empty and you're running this 3-course menu, so let's do a package deal. And the daily pricing things, I agree with, and that's why I put yes. But there's a lot of larger commercial strategy items that need to be built by a human, I would say. But yeah, it's about people getting on board and making use of it.
And start now.
Yeah, totally.
And start now. Thank you very much, Corey, for that. Thank you very much. And I guess, yeah, this is my last slide. We are very good in timing, so we have 5 minutes, 4 minutes left. So if there is any questions, please shoot.
Again, feel free to raise your hand or use the message box.
Maybe in between we have a question. I wanted to ask you, Philipp, about AI and the adoption of these tools in revenue management. Where do you see the biggest impact within this area of the hotel? I mean, within the revenue management department, where do you think that AI could be applied and could be used in our daily lives?
Mm-hmm. So I think first of all, in our industry, so talking about revenue management, since a couple of years, a lot of companies are talking about AI. I am happy that when they talk about AI now and since a couple of months, maybe a year, they really talk about AI. Like all the years before, especially in our industry, they talked about if then, but if AI sounds cooler than if then, right? So I'm happy that we now in our industry really can talk about the real AI. And what I can tell you, talking about HQ revenue, we developed a feature which is called anomalies, which is like really helping our customers with data science, AI, and deep learning algorithms to pinpoint out these days where something is not in order. I think we should, because we've talked about the lack of staff and we've talked about job enlargements, meaning we all have less time than any time before, and it will not get more time in the future, believe me. So we really need to show the customers and the users these days where is the potential. So where something is happening which is not normal. And if you're going to focus on the future, only on the days where something special is happening, something happening which is not normal, I think you're on the winning side. So use the AI for saving time. I think that's a very big thing, not only in our industry, in every industry. And I think also when you do your research, when I'm doing my research already, Bing came back into my life, right? So this is also something interesting because I never thought that Bing will come back into my life. Yeah, definitely use it like for improvement in processes. And the biggest thing is time.
Perhaps as well to eliminate like I'm calling them boring tasks, like, in order to gain time for the human, as Corey said, like, the machine can't see the guest in front of you. So that gives us, some time back to really engage with the guest, to be there to deliver the service.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think we don't have more questions unless there is something that you want to ask specifically, Philipp, to the attendees. Then I think there are no more questions. Everything was clear. All right. Then
on time.
On time this time, yes. Perfect. Chris, Philipp, do you want to say last words before we turn off the...
Thank you, everyone. Stay tuned, for more events, more information, more insights. yeah, and leave us feedback, send Fabri a message, you know, your feedback about these events. If there's anything else you would like to see, we are always very open, yeah, just to hear from you.
Thank you very much, everyone. All the
Thank
best.
Take
Ciao,
care,
ciao.
guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.